Okay, so we are going to start with the error handling part of the compiler design. So till now, what we have seen the lexical analyzer, which is used to generate the tokens from the high-level language program. Then we have seen the syntax analyzer, which is also called as parser, which generates the parse tree, syntax tree. And the parse tree goes as an input to the semantic analyzer, which is responsible to check the uh, meaning of the syntaxes using a type checking module and uh, syntax uh, syntax definition. Then we have intermediate code generation, and through which we generate the three address code of the high level language program. Basically, the purpose of intermediate code generation is to convert the high level language code into the three address code, that is the small code, where we will use maximum three operands in the expression, so that we can easily convert this particular code into the machine level language, or we can say that low level language, assembly language, right? And after intermediate code generation, we use code optimizer. Code optimizer is basically a module in which we optimize the code. We try to reduce the number of lines in the code, so that the memory and the execution memory space should get reduced, and the execution time should also get reduced. And the main focus of the code optimization is the to optimize the loops which are present in the code, because the maximum time of the execution of a particular code lapse into the loop execution. Right after code optimization, we perform target code generation. Target code generation is basically the conversion of the code according to the optimized code according to the machine architecture into the low level language. And target code generation we have seen little bit in the code optimization when we were studying about the machine dependent code optimization, right? Where we have used the low level language statements like move, add, and processor registers, etc. Now, apart from these phases, there are two parallel modules running in the compiler design. One is the symbol table that we have already covered after the intermediate code generator. So symbol table is basically responsible to store all the symbols which occurs in your code, and the responsibility of creation of the symbol table is taken by two phases, that is lexical analyzer and syntax analyzer, and the remaining phases generally utilize the information of the symbol table. Information is stored in the symbol table. And the second phase that runs parallelly with the compiler design, all the phases of the compiler design, that is called as error handling. So in the today's lecture, we'll cover the error handling phase, right? So what is error handling? Basically, error handling phase consists with three activities. First, error detection. Second, error reporting. And third, error recovery, right? So these three things are basically inbuilt in the error handling module, right? So error detection, what is the meaning of error detection? Detecting the error in the program at the time of compilation, right? Error reporting, what is the meaning of error reporting? Whatever error is detected, give the appropriate message for that error to the user, so that the user can handle that error correctly in the program. And what is the error recovery? There are certain mechanisms made by the compiler developer while designing the compiler, which can recover certain type of errors into the program automatically, or it gives clue. It gives clue to the programmer how to recover from this particular error which is generated. So first of all, we'll see what are the types of errors we have. So there are two types of errors we have in the compiler design, that is compile time error, compile time errors, and runtime errors. So what is compile time errors? When you are getting any error before the execution of the program. That means while compilation, if you're getting any error, then these type of errors are called as compile time error. But when you are getting an error while the execution of the program or after the execution of the program, then these type of errors are called as runtime errors. For example, you have written that a particular value is assigning into the array, and the index that you have mentioned for the array assignment is out of the bound. Then this error will not be deducted while the in the compile time. It can be deducted only the runtime, right? Second type of error runtime can be if you are dividing a particular number by 0 and the value of that particular operand is coming at the runtime, coming at execution time, then this error will also be deducted by the uh, runtime environment, right? So these type of errors are called as runtime errors. While if you have misspelled any command, or you have not declared any identifier, or you're assigning incompatible value to some other uh, type of operand, then these type of errors will be deducted at the time of compilation, and these type of errors are called as compile time, right? So we are going to focus only on the compile time error right now. And there are majorly three types of compile time error. So first type of error is called as lexical error. Second type of error is called as syntax error. And third type of errors are called as semantic errors. Apart from that, there is one more error that we can take into the consideration, that is called as logical errors. Although logical errors can be identified only by the programmer after the completion of the execution, but still we'll consider the logical errors also, right? So one by one, we'll take all the error types at the compile time. We are covering only compile time errors, right? So first type of error is the lexical error. Now, what is lexical error? Basically, lexical analyzer is responsible for the generation of the tokens. So when your program is scanned left to right, character by character, the lexical analyzer analyzes that whether the token is generated. Token can be generated or not generated. So if the token can't be generated, or the generated token is not valid, then your lexical analyzer will generate the error, right? So if the sequence of the character does not match with the pattern of any token. So if I'm writing this, if a sequence of characters does not match with the patterns of any token, then lexical error will be generated by the lexical analyzer. Now there are various types of errors. So I'm giving you some example of that, like unmatched comments, or you can get spelling errors. For example, I have started the comment, I've written the comment, but I forgot to end the comment properly. So it is unmatched comment. Spelling error. What is the spelling error? Suppose the spelling of scanf was scanf and I forget to write the F and I've written the command, right? So this is the spelling error. Fine. Now the second type of error comes under this category, can be exceeding length of the identifier. Exceeding length of the identifier. In some languages like Fortran, C, there are restriction to give the name of the variable. Basically, what is identifier? When you are defining a name of the variable or the function, then these names, these user defined names are called as identifier. So when you're defining a name, then there are proper conditions to define the name first, and second, uh, there is a restriction to name length. For example, in Fortran, the identifier can be of only 7 characters. So when you are defining a variable name, it shouldn't be greater than 7 characters. Similarly, in case of C language, it shouldn't be greater than 32 characters. So if you're defining the identifier name and which is exceeded from the limit, then you will get the error, lexical error, exceeding the length of the identifier. Third error you can find is appearance of illegal character. For example, I've written printf and some message I've written with it. And after closing, by mistake, I have added $sign in it after the line. So this error is basically illegal character. Your compiler will give illegal character error because your line should be end with the semicolon, but after semicolon you have written dollar and which is not identified by the compiler. So that is why this line will give you the error illegal character. Now I'm writing a code. Try to identify what type of error you will have in a particular line. So this is the comment that I have written. Then I've declared a variable. Okay, now this is the code. So in the first line, I have tried to written the comment, but the ending of the comment is unmatched. So that is why I'll get an error, unmatched comment. Okay. In the second line, integer A is perfectly all right, but 1C in C language, if we take the syntaxes of the C language, then in C language, you can't start the name of the identifier with the numeric. So that is why for 1C, you will get an error, unidentified symbol, right? And similarly, this is also unidentified symbol. So that is why in the both identifiers, you will get an error. So what is the error? The error is illegal character or unidentified symbol. Right? Okay. Now this line is correct. You ignore the cases. And then in this line, you will have the spelling error because printf. The spelling should be printf. The keyword should be printf, but you have written print and there is no print keyword available in C language. So that is why you will get the illegal keyword or the spelling mistake. So here you have spelling mistake, right? So these are the errors which comes under the category of lexical error. Now, we have detected the error and we have reported the error. I have told you that detection means what type of error you have or the type of error is detected by the lexical analyzer. After that, reporting of the error. Give the message to the user that this is the error that the compiler has deducted in a particular line, right? Now, error recovery. There are 4 methods of error recovery, but in case of lexical analyzer, we use only one method of error recovery. Generally, okay. So recovery method used in lexical error is called as panic mode recovery method. What is panic mode recovery method? Although there are 4 methods which we used for the error recovery in the compiler, but in the case of lexical error, lexical analyzer use only one recovery method that is called as panic mode recovery. Now, in case of panic mode recovery, what the lexical analyzer does, it scans the line. For example, I'm taking one example, then you will understand very easily. Suppose this is the line I have written in the program for the variable declaration. Now your compiler will start the scanning from left to right. So it will scan int, integer. Keyword is correct. It is perfectly all right. Then we know that spaces are ignored, so it will ignore the space. Then there is a variable a. Perfectly all right. A is a valid name. It will take the variable. Then comma. It is the valid symbol to separate one identifier with the another identifier while time of declaration. Fine. Now the next symbol, it found that 1, and 1 is the illegal character for defining the name of the identifier. So what will it do? It will start discarding the name of the identifier till it will not find the separator symbol. Now what is the separator symbol? Either it will be comma or it will be semicolon. So till it will not found, I'm just zooming this line, till it will not found, it will start discarding 1 from 1 till कहां तक? जब तक इसे कॉमा या सेमीकोलन नहीं मिल जाता है तब तक इस सिंबल को क्या करते रहेगा? ये डिस्कार्ड करते रहेगा, हर एक कैरेक्टर को डिस्कार्ड करते रहेगा इसके बाद। तो जो मैंने जो रेड किया हुआ है, इसका मतलब ये पूरे के पूरे जो कैरेक्टर्स हैं वो कब तक डिस्कार्ड करे इसने? जब तक इसे कॉमा नहीं मिल गया। नाउ आफ्टर कॉमा, कॉमा इज अ वैलिड सिंबल, इट फाउंड डॉलर। नाउ डॉलर इज अगेन इनवैलिड सिंबल एज ए आइडेंटिफायर, सो इट विल अगेन डिस्कार्ड द कैरेक्टर। और कब तक डिस्कार्ड करते रहेगा? जब तक इसे कॉमा या सेमीकोलन नहीं मिल जाता। इट फाउंड सेमीकोलन, then it will start scanning the next line. So this type of recovery mode is called as panic mode, and it applies in the lexical error phase, or it applies in the lexical analyzer for recovering the lexical error. Now if the compiler do not apply the panic mode, what will happen? It will find the error here and it will stop the execution of the, or it will stop the compilation of the remaining program. So that is why it is important to apply the recovery method, so that the remaining program should also be compiled and you can get more errors in the other lines also. If there is any error in the remaining lines, in the rest of the program, you will get those errors also. As we know that the compiler gives all the errors at the time of compilation, line wise. So that is why it is very important to apply the recovery method. So I hope it is clear to everyone. Now we'll start with the second type of error, that is called as syntax errors. Right? So we are talking about the syntax error now. What is syntax error? Syntax error are the errors which are generated by the syntax analyzer. Right. So सबसे पहली चीज understand करने की इसमें क्या है? If you remember that when I was teaching you parser, I've designed so many parse tables. I've told you that there are various type of parser, and the parser designs the parse table to check whether a particular expression, whether the particular expression is correct or not correct according to the given grammar. So syntax analyzer basically deduct the errors according to the parse tables. Now, how it will deduct the parse tables? I've told you the blank spaces in the parse table will actually identify the error. So if in any case your parser is deducting the blank space in the parse table, then it will generate the error, right? Now let's take one example, then I'll give you live examples also. Let's take one example. Suppose SLR parser की हम बात कर रहे हैं, and zero state पर हम assume करके चलते हैं कि हमारे पास ये है स्टेट नंबर, और स्टेट नंबर के बाद दिस इज स्टेट नंबर। स्टेट नंबर के बाद आपने यहाँ पर एक वेरिएबल लिया है a, और एक ऑपरेटर है आपके पास प्लस, और टर्मिनेटिंग है आपके पास डॉलर, एंड आफ्टर दैट यू हैव नॉन टर्मिनल s and you have terminal non-terminal a. Suppose this is my table. Now state 0 पर आपने यहाँ पर blank लिखा हुआ है सपोज करिए, और यहाँ पर आपने shift 2 लिखा हुआ है, right? और यहाँ पर कुछ कुछ लिखा हुआ है that we need not to concern. सपोज करो यहाँ पे 1 लिखा हुआ है, यहाँ पर 2 लिखा हुआ है, कुछ भी लिखा हुआ है, right? नाउ इफ इन केस आपका जो कंपाइलर है वो यहाँ ये वाली जो ब्लैंक स्पेस है इसको डिडक्ट करता है, तो हम अगर डिनोट करें दिस इज एरर नंबर 1, तो व्हाट टाइप ऑफ एरर इट इज गोइंग टू जनरेट? इट इज गोइंग टू जनरेट एरर 1 विच रिगार्ड टू किसकी कौन सी चीज मिसिंग है जिसकी वजह से इसको एरर 1 मिल रही है? ऑपरेंड इज मिसिंग, ए ऑपरेंड इज मिसिंग। सो इवन एरर का मतलब ऑटोमेटिकली आपका जो कंपाइलर है अगर वो ब्लैंक स्पेस यानी ए वाली कॉलम पर डिटेक्ट करता है किसी प्रोडक्शन को, तो इट विल गिव यू एरर मिसिंग ऑपरेंड ए, right? Missing operand A. So this type of error you will get with the parsing table. Now this is all about the parsing table. Now we'll come to the real environment. So what type of errors you will get in case of syntax errors? So the example is that error in the structure. Now we know that whenever you write the program in C language or C++ language or Java language, you have a particular structure of a command. For example, if you are starting if, then you have to, if there are more than one statements in the if, then you have to apply the curly brace, opening curly brace. Then this opening curly brace should end with the closing curly bracket. Similarly, if you are writing while, then you have to apply condition. There is a proper structure. You have to apply condition, then opening curly braces, then closing curly braces. Similarly, if you are writing a for loop, then there is a proper structure. If you are writing a main function, then there is a proper structure. So if there is any problem in the rule of the structure, then you will get the error. So this is also called as unbalanced parenthesis, right? Okay, now next type of error you can get as a syntax error, that is missing operator. You have written the expression and you forgot to apply the operator between two operands. So this is also one type of syntax error, right? Semicolon missing. It is also one of the type of syntax error. So these type of errors you will find as a syntax error. Now let's take example. Suppose I have written if a is equal to 5 and then I have written something, right? What is the problem? What is the problem? It is illegal operator. Why? Because there should be, यहां पर आपने क्या लगा दिया? Assignment operator, जबकि operator कौन सा लगना चाहिए था? Equals to operator, because you are comparing left hand side with the right hand side. Now see next example. Suppose I have written integer a is equal to 2. What is the problem in this statement? Semicolon is missing. Every statement should be separated by the semicolon. So semicolon missing. This is the problem in this statement. Now suppose I have written x is equal to 3 plus 2 and the bracket is started but it is not ended. Semicolon is there. So unmatched parenthesis. Okay. Now see one more error. Suppose you have written y is equal to 3 plus. This is the statement you have written. What is the problem in this statement? What is the problem in this statement? You have written two operators, but operand is missing. So missing operand. Now see another example. X is equal to a plus, suppose by. What is the problem in this statement? You have written two operand, but one operator is missing between the operand. So missing operator. These type of errors comes under the category of syntax errors. Like, right now for the recovery of syntax error, recovery method used for the syntax error. If we talk about the recovery method, used for the syntax error, then we use 4 methods for the recovery. First is panic mode. Second is called as phrase level mode. Third is called as error production. And fourth is called as global production. So I'll cover every recovery method in a short way, just to make you understand what is the meaning of a particular recovery method, right? It is not necessary in every compiler design these recovery methods will be used, but generally one of the method is implemented by the compiler design while designing the syntax analyzer. So panic mode, as we have already discussed in the lexical analyzer, what happens in the panic mode? Generally, whenever it deducts a particular error at a particular point, it discards the remaining characters or remaining command till it does not find the separator in case of lexical analyzer. But in case of syntax analyzer, it discards the whole structure till it does not find the end of the structure. For example, see, suppose there is a problem x is equal to a plus bc. So according to this statement, there is a missing operator. Error is missing operator. So it will discard whole expression from where? From B till C. It is not finding semicolon. And after semicolon, whatever line is written, it will start the syntax analyzing or the creation of the parse tree for that particular statement. Similarly, suppose करो एक loop लिखा है मैंने और उस loop में error कर दिया while I is less than equals to 10 and I forget to apply parenthesis, right? And I have written something inside the loop. So what will it do? It will start discarding. It will start discarding structure from the place of the closing parenthesis where it does not found the closing parenthesis till the closing of these structures. So this whole structure will be discarded. So it will come out from the loop now. Now from this line onwards, after the loop, whatever line is written, it will start the creation of the parse tree, checking of the syntax from the next line after the loop. So it will discard the whole loop, right? So this type of mode, the panic mode, the advantage of the panic mode is that the advantage of the panic mode, it never gives you, it never go to infinite checking, because हमेशा ये किसको चेक करेगा, कहां पर जाकर के एंड करेगा स्टेटमेंट को, जहां पर स्टेटमेंट खत्म हो रहा होगा. तो कभी ऐसा होगा ही नहीं कि ये इनफाइनाइट कहीं पर फंस जाए कि उसी स्टेटमेंट को ये बार बार चेक करते रहे. हमेशा ये उस स्टेटमेंट के कहां पर जाकर के खत्म होगा पैनिक मोड, कब तक डिस्कार्ड करते रहेगा, जब तक ये उस स्टेटमेंट के एंड पे नहीं पहुंच जाता है तब तक ये उसको डिस्कार्ड करते रहेगा, राइट? नाउ द सेकेंड टाइप ऑफ recovery mode is phrase level. Now what is the meaning of phrase level basically? So when parser encounters the error, मैं इसको ऐसे लिखती हूँ, phrase level की बात हो रही है. When parser encounters the error, it tries to take the correction measure. It tries to take the correction measures locally, right? It is like a auto correction in the MS Word. You have seen that कभी-कभी क्या होता है, MS Word में you start typing and it gives you suggestion that the spelling should be this, the space should be added, the spelling is wrong, and when you right click on the spelling, it gives you the correct spelling and you change it into the correct spelling. So this type of local correction is provided by the compiler, and generally it depends on the IDE that you are using for a particular language. So it does not require that whatever software you are using for a particular language, it should have the phrase level correction recovery mode. But there are certain advanced IDE which has the phrase level recovery mode. So they will suggest you that what kind of corrections you can apply on a particular line. So either it will be marked by the red color or blue color or green color. It depends on the IDE to IDE. So basically what type of corrections it will suggest you. Suppose instead of semicolon you have applied the comma. So it will suggest you suggestions. कैसे कैसे मिल सकते हैं आपको? Suggestions मिल सकते हैं instead of comma semicolon लगा दो. अप्लाई सेमीकोलन. आप राइट क्लिक करेंगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपका जो कॉमा है वो सेमीकोलन में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा. राइट आपको सजेशन देगा मिसिंग सेमीकोलन. मिसिंग सेमीकोलन आपको सजेशन दे रहा है. यू हैव गॉन टू दैट पर्टिकुलर लाइन, राइट क्लिक करा आपने तो वो क्या कर देगा, सेमीकोलन का सजेशन देगा. आप सेमीकोलन पे क्लिक करेंगे, वहां पे सेमीकोलन लग जाएगा. फाइन. So this type of recovery methods are available in the phrase level recovery. Now the third method is called as error production method. Error production. अब error production method में क्या होता है? The compiler developer prepares a list of the errors, exhaustive list of the errors, and the productions कि किस टाइप के प्रोडक्शन आपने बनाए होंगे जिसकी वजह से ये एरर्स आपकी जो हैं वो आ रही हैं. राइट. So it will make a list, it will feed the list into the error handler that these are the productions, and through this production these type of errors can be created. Right. So if in case you have made the same error into the program, the particular error production will be matched, and the error whatever written whatever message is written with the error production, it will be reported to the user. Right. Now let's take one example. Suppose I have handled the error that if in case the user has written a statement like this, which means आपने statement क्या लिख दिया है, A is equal to FB. अब इस error को handle करने के लिए compiler developer ने already एक production बनाया हुआ है. अब प्रॉब्लम क्या है, पहले तो इस प्रॉब्लम को आइडेंटिफाई कर लेते हैं. प्रॉब्लम इज मिसिंग ऑपरेटर. द प्रॉब्लम इज मिसिंग ऑपरेटर. सो ऑलरेडी हमारी जो एरर हैंडलिंग टेबल बनाई गई है उसमें एरर प्रोडक्शन में क्या लिखा गया था कि इफ देयर इज एनी प्रॉब्लम ऑफ द मिसिंग ऑपरेटर देन इट शुड बी सजेशन, इट शुड बी द रिप्लेस्ड, इट शुड रिप्लेस्ड बाय द ऑपरेटर. राइट. सो दिस इज द करेक्ट प्रोडक्शन, and this is the error production which is written in the error table of the compiler. So the error reported to you is the missing operator, and this error is reported by the compiler. Why? Because this particular production, this particular error production is written by the compiler developer into the compiler, into the error handler module. Right. So this will give you this type of errors. Now the fourth, and obviously it is very difficult to implement. Difficult to implement. Now the last is global production. First of all, it is right now it is not implemented with any compiler. It is just a suggestion. So basically what happens in the global production, like in case of phrase level, it gives you auto correction. It gives you similar type of correction, like instead of comma you can write the semicolon, instead of colon you can write the semicolon, instead of plus you can write the multiplication, instead of print you can write the printf. These type of suggestions will be given by the phrase level correction. Like, but in the global production what happens, for a particular statement which is written wrongly, the new statement will be created by the compiler which is error free, and the suggestion will be given by the compiler as a whole statement. Like you can replace this statement with this statement. So it is going on in the research. It is not developed right now. As far as I know, I've not seen anywhere this type of recovery method. So basically, the close statement, close error-free statement is created by the compiler for the erroneous statement, and the suggestions will be given to the user. So you can replace that particular statement with the suggested statement, right? So these type of 4 recovery methods are used for the syntax analysis, and mostly the compiler uses the panic mode method. And apart from these methods, these remaining three methods depends on the IDE to IDE, what type of application program interface you are using for a particular language, right? Now the third type of error. The third type of error is called as semantic error. Semantic errors, right? Semantic errors. Now this type of error is generated by basically semantic analyzer. Semantic analyzer generates these type of errors. So what type of errors you will get in this category? Say incompatible type of operands. Next can be undeclared variable. Third can be not matching parameters. These type of errors you can find in the semantic error category. Fine. So let's take one example. I've declared the array, and there is one more variable. I've declared b, and I'm trying to assign value of b into a. So this is the semantic error. Why it is a semantic error? Incompatible type of operand. क्यों है incompatible type of operand? Because a is the array and b is the simple variable. So you can't assign a simple variable into the array without defining the index, right? But if you can write, if you are writing a0 is equal to b, then it is perfectly all right. Fine. So recovery method. Come to the recovery method. So the semantic error, semantic analyzer cannot use panic mode, cannot use phrase label mode, cannot use error production, cannot use global production. So it uses symbol table method. Symbol table for error recovery. For error recovery, right? Let's take one example. Suppose there is an identifier which is undeclared. I have written a is equal to y, and y is not declared anywhere. So obviously you will get undeclared identifier y. Undeclared identifier y. This is reported to you, right? अब क्या हुआ? As a user, जब आपको ये error मिली, तो you have declared the identifier y before a. आपने इसको declare कर दिया यहाँ पर. Now what will happen? The semantic analyzer ने ये error क्यों दी थी आपको? Because the y has been searched into the symbol table and your semantic analyzer does not found the y into the symbol table. That is why it has given undeclared identifier y. Now when you have declared identifier y in the next execution, in the next compilation phase, the identifier y is now being declared in the symbol table. Now it is found by the semantic analyzer. So automatically your error will be recovered and you won't find any kind of error like undefined, undeclared identifier, right? Now in similar type, suppose आपके पास था integer a और आपके पास था float b, and you have written a is equal to b. So what type of error is it? Incompatible type of operand. So generally I've told you there are two methods to deal with this error. In some language, type conversion procedure is there. Basically ये जो error है, this error is called as incompatible type of operands. आप float को integer में assign करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, right? तो दो तरीके की चीजें हो सकती हैं. अगर आपकी लैंग्वेज में इम्प्लिसिट कन्वर्जन होगा, अगर आपकी लैंग्वेज इम्प्लिसिट टाइप कन्वर्जन को सपोर्ट करती होगी तो ऑटोमेटिकली जो फ्लोट है वो इंटीजर में असाइन हो जाएगा एंड द वैल्यू विल बी राउंड ऑफ. जो भी वैल्यू लॉस होनी होगी, बिकॉज 4 बाइट को अगर आप 2 बाइट में असाइन कर रहे हो तो देयर विल बी सम लॉस, राइट. तो जो भी लॉस होना होगा वो हो जाएगा and your value will be automatically assigned into the integer variable. And the second method can be used as explicit conversion. तो आप क्या कर सकते हो, you can rewrite this particular statement in the next phase. कैसे आप इसको क्या कर दोगे, you will use explicit typecasting and you can assign b now. So there are two things. अगर रिकवरी मेथड में इम्प्लिसिट कन्वर्जन पॉसिबल होगा तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपका जो राइट हैंड साइड वाला टाइप होगा दैट विल बी ऑटोमेटिकली कन्वर्टेड एंड विल बी असाइन्ड इनटू द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड. अगर इम्प्लिसिट सपोर्ट नहीं होता होगा लैंग्वेज में, सो ऑब्वियसली ये आपको एरर शो करेगा एंड व्हेन यू विल अप्लाई द एक्सप्लिसिट कन्वर्जन automatically your error will be removed. Now we'll discuss about the logical errors. 4 type of errors. Logical errors. Basically, it is not the responsibility of the compiler. What type of errors you will get in the form of logical errors? Infinite loop. अगर आप infinite loop में फंस गए हैं तो it is not the responsibility of the compiler. It is the responsibility of the programmer कि उसने क्या logic लगाया हुआ है, right? Next type of error कैसी हो सकती है? The loop requires the increment and you have made the decrement. The loop was requiring increment and what you have done, decrement कर दिया आपने उसमें, ठीक है, या वाइस वर्सा. लूप वाज रिक्वायरिंग डिक्रीमेंट और आपने उसमें क्या कर दिया है, इंक्रीमेंट कर दिया है. रॉन्ग आउटपुट. आउटपुट आपका कुछ और आना चाहिए था, 5 आना चाहिए था, लेकिन आ क्या रहा है, 6 आ रहा है. So these type of errors are called as, comes under the category of logical error, right? So this is all about your error handling block, error handling phase of the compiler. If you have any confusions, then you can raise your queries.